Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Meta Cafe. Happy Monday. I hope everybody out there had a wonderful Mother's Day or just enjoyed the day. It was certainly a gorgeous one here with temperatures that climbed up close to 80. I don't know. I was in Seattle. It was very warm there. But we were at the zoo with family and we had a great time. You can see I'm wearing my new Tree of Life necklace only for a short time because it needs a longer chain. I can't stand chains up around my neck. But it has all my kids' birthstones in it, and it's just really beautiful. It was just a wonderful day, beautiful day, and I hope everybody else experienced the same yesterday. Good morning. Let's see who we have out here. We have Roseanne who says, woohoo, 80. I know some of you think you probably live in parts of the country where it's really hot and 80 sounds like yes, but we live where it's kind of chilly most of the time, and 80 to us is like perish the thought, right? Good morning, Michelle Gay. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody is doing well this fine morning as we are moving into what is likely going to be a very highly energetic week, as if the weekend wasn't already that way. Roseanne says it's 90 where she is, and I think she's in Virginia. Good morning, Mimi. It's good to see you. Thank you, Michelle. It is a beautiful necklace. I also got this wonderful picture. I should have brought it over here to show you of all 9 of my grandchildren in 3 frames. One long, picture frame, but in 3 sections. And they're each holding a sign. One says I or we, then a heart, and then the third group says you. It's really beautiful, and it's all done in black and whites and grays. It's just beautiful, including my grand puppies, and which, the fur babies are just as important to me. And so I had a great day. I was so tired, though. I'm guessing that some of you might have overdone it this weekend as well. I didn't get sunburned. I'm really glad for that. But my feet put 12,000 some hundred steps on them. That's over 5 miles. And I was obviously wearing the wrong shoes because by last night I was so tired. I just wanted to go to sleep. And I did, apparently, in my chair. And my husband woke me up and said, do you want to go to bed now? So it was my turn to pass out. Looking ahead, then, this is Monday, so we take a look ahead. I've also pulled an oracle card for the day, actually for the week, and it's kind of an interesting card. I'm not sure if we've had this one before, but it's an interesting one. Good morning, Suzanne, and good morning, Kristen Page, and good morning, Londa. It's good to see everybody out there this morning. So let's take a look then at what is happening for the week. We'll take a larger look, and then I'll come in and focus a bit on the new moon because that's also happening this week. And then some of the human design things that I might want to equate. It depends on the timing. I don't want to ramble on forever, although I could. So let's take a look here. So over the weekend, I posted something about some of the feelings and experiences I was having. Noting them in my own body is very helpful because usually I'm feeling things or experiencing things maybe a few days to a few weeks before the rest of I wouldn't want to say the rest of the world is, but before a lot of the clients that I'm going to be working with are experiencing things. And I think partly that happens because my son is at gate 12. And so I sort of am channeling in some of the information, and my body was picking up through sensitive channels that energy. And I was beyond belief, some of the things that I was experiencing. So then I was paying real good attention then on Saturday and Sunday to see how I felt. And there was a little bit of an up and down, not as much as Friday and Friday night was. And then here we go. Today I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling sort of punch drunk, that obviously I wasn't drinking and I wasn't doing anything, but I'm feeling a little bit like I've been through something. I don't even know what to say about it, except that it's very different sort of energy, a feeling of like almost I've gotten through this time, and hopefully now we can move forward. So I'm wondering if that's being reflected in some of these transits today. So we know that yesterday Mercury was in a conjunction with Uranus. Well, as fast as Mercury is, he still has not escaped Uranus's clutches, and they are still in a conjunction today. Remember, Mercury, the messenger planet, ferrying messages to us in the territory that he is moving through. He is moving through Taurus now, and he is ferrying messages to us about Taurus. And Taurus now suddenly is like ground zero, focused energy, all in Taurus. Uranus ready to move there in the next couple of days. Now, the sun, of course, has been there. The moon is there this week. And our new moon is going to be there in Taurus this week. So Mercury bringing up some of the things that we may have to deal with, bringing the messages to us. So if you look at your own personal life, what are the messages that are coming up for you personally? What looks like it might be opening up? What looks like it might be closing up? What does it look like you have to re-evaluate? Emphasis on the value, because that is kind of the energy that we're looking at from a personal level. In the outer world, I was really interested. I start to really pay attention to the outer world things when major planets are changing signs. And so I've been kind of on the lookout for what is going on in the outer world as it relates to money or as it relates to anything earthy, because the Uranus changing into Taurus puts a lot of emphasis on earth and on some of the other things, the key things that Taurus rules, which of course is land and values. So the news this morning, and I don't know when this happened, it might have happened yesterday while I was off playing. There are apparently 43 people dead, 1,600 people injured in Gaza and the Gaza Strip in Israel in clashes over what appear to be, again, the land issues and the difference in the value systems between the Muslim Palestinians and the Christian Jews or the Jewish factions. And I mean, isn't that amazing that that shows up right here, right now, while all of this is happening? And Roseanne, you're right. It's very, very sad. It's sad, but it feels like this is a stupid repeat. And it feels like it's all because something that the US triggered when our president decided that it was okay to move the US embassy to Jerusalem. Now, I don't want to get into the ticky-tackies of that particular move, but it does feel like there are things that are happening here in this country that are triggering these watershed moments throughout the world. And it reminds me that we all are living in this very global society now. And that, the butterfly effect, in chaos theory, the butterfly effect, where a butterfly's wings flapping in Japan can change weather systems across the world. And that's inherent right now. Just little things, seemingly moving an embassy. And look at some of the things it's created here. And I don't know that this is going away anytime soon. Now, as it relates to money, I noticed the Supreme Court this morning said that the states could then again could decide whether they wanted to reenact sports betting. And even college games, I believe, were engaged in that. And I don't know what the ramifications are about that. I feel like that it's probably not a good thing because now you're injecting money into sports, and not that there wasn't already money in sports, but college sports, I don't know how I feel about that one. But again, it's a big money thing, right? Places where money is going to be changing hands. Another particular value, right? Do we value education as it relates to colleges, or now are we going to place a lot of money and a lot of emphasis, more emphasis, it would seem, on sports coming from colleges? Don't know. That'll be something we're going to be watching because it's coming up in our world. And another thing I noticed yesterday, or maybe it was this morning, I walked through the room and saw the news on, and another fissure has opened up in the Kilauea volcano, again causing more mayhem and chaos in Hawaii. But is it preparing? And scientists say this is likely for a big explosion, right? A big eruption. And I sent last week from a list I belong to. I think it's called the Earth News or something like that. And they were talking about that very thing, right? That this fissure, all of these fissures are creating a place for lava to escape, and that lowers the lava level in the volcano. And if it gets to a point where it meets the water table, then you have the gases and water, which is a very combustible combination and can create a huge explosion, a huge eruption. So likely that is on its way for Hawaii. And of course, because we are in a global system, the ash and everything that moves up into the sky can also create issues for us around the planet. So big news coming out of, these various little stories, giving us little inklings of the direction that things are going to go. And that's just from Mercury's first degree move into the sign of Taurus, bringing us messages. Today, the moon is also in an opposition to Jupiter. And that's probably why I'm feeling punch drunk now that I think about it, because yesterday probably I got into a little bit of an overdoing it. If you can walk 3 miles, why not walk 5 miles in flip-flops through the zoo? Who knows? The new moon, woohoo, new moon Taurus on the 15th. At 4:48 a.m. if you're in the Pacific Northwest or Pacific time zones, and 7:48 a.m. if you're on the East Coast, and that happening at 25 degrees of Taurus. Remember, the new moon is always a very powerful gateway or portal into creating something new. And Roseanne, I hiked 10 miles recently. I almost died. Yeah. 5 miles doesn't seem like a lot, but it was hot. And I was in flip-flops. If I had been in tennis shoes, I probably would have been better. But no, I wore flip-flops. But it was such a great day. The animals were all in a great mood. I got great shots of bears, great shots of the baby giraffe playing. It was awesome, an awesome day. Okay, back to the new moon. So the new moon at 25 degrees of Taurus, reminding us that we are creating now in accordance with our values. And this is a very powerful manifesting sign. I actually love, love, love the new moon in Taurus, because as you know, I like to call Taurians master manifestors, because whatever it is they focus their very powerful bull-like energy on, they don't waver from until they get it. And that is also apparent in things that you don't want. So be sure that your mind, particularly with Mercury now moving through Taurus as well, that your mind isn't on what you don't want, but it is looking at all the possibilities for the things that you do want, that it's holding space for what you want. So the new moon in Taurus represents money, which we know, the financial systems as well, but I'm talking now more personally for us as individuals. So earning money, spending money better maybe, or more wisely, creating more flow, all of that type of thing. Taurus also rules all of the senses. And in the senses, we're talking sensuality. So sight, smells, textures, feeling. Great time to go get a massage. Great time to go have body work done. It's also around the things like touching things, right? We have heightened tactile experiences during this time. And I wanted to remind everybody, a few weeks back, we talked about this, and I don't think we've talked about it since, that the nodes of the moon are sitting at the north node and the south node. The south node is sitting at gate 19, which is a highly sensitive gate. And it's very much around engaged with the earth and everything natural. So maybe this is a great time to go out and, just connect with Mother Nature, do some gardening, laying out in the grass, or walking barefoot through the grass. All these little things that to us feel highly sensual are creating, in a way, another of Taurus's emphases, which is contentment, happiness, being okay with whatever is going on, being okay in your world, appreciation, gratitude, satisfaction, contentment, all of the simple things that we can find pleasure in our lives, right? We don't have to have the big splashy anything. It's just give me a great cup of coffee with a little bit of whipped cream in it, and it is totally going to make my day, right? So it's finding enjoyment and appreciation in the little things. Um, Nature, yeah, exactly. Suzanne says, I knew it. Nature. Yes, 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 yes. So now when we start looking at Taurus, we also think about building, right? The master builders, the Taurians of the world, right? They build structures, they farm, they are very powerful and in staying the course of something once they get started. So we talk about persistence and perseverance then when we deal with Taurus energy. We deal with progress via step by step by step. That is going to drive you manifesting generators crazy because you like to just jump from thing to thing to thing. And the time right now is much more about deliberate step forward. Generators, you're going to love this, right? Because the energy of the time is supporting your plotting success. Plodding, plotting, one step in front of the other. And that's how we build a solid foundation, right? When you go to build a house, you don't build the walls and then go, oh, yeah, I probably need to go back and build the foundation. And oh, let's put a roof on. And then, right? There are plans, there are blueprints, there are steps, and you build it from the bottom up, right? That so the foundation is supportive. So whatever new things you might be entering into this week, you want to make sure you have the solid foundation. Foundation first, then you can put up the rest, right? The walls and everything else. Being thorough is another interesting word here, because thorough, perseverance, endurance makes me think of the defined will center. And the will center is the little triangle. Let me see if I can show my chart here for you guys. And what worries me about the will center and the energies of perseverance and all of that. So here's the will center right here. This person happens to have it open in their chart. But, right now, this is, we're going to be tapping into possibly energy because let's see, about 7/8 of you out there have that open. And so now if you're tapping into perseverance and endurance and stuff that you don't have, you can burn yourselves out. So being very mindful about and caring for your own body and measuring your own energy, right? Not getting into things and using, this persevering energy to hold on and to push and to keep, plodding forward in something when the energy turns off. This is a center, by the way, in human design that we think of as pulsing. Right? When the pulse is on, it's like the energy is flowing. It's like going up to a light switch, right? You turn on the light switch and the lights come on. And then when the light switch is turned off, the energy is gone. And that's how this center works. But the tendency we might have right now is to keep pushing even when that energy turns off. So be sure to take breaks, be sure to take care of yourself and not push the river, right? Taurus energy is plotting, right? Success happens with the little steps, one in front of the other, not the I'm going to just keep pushing till I get what I want. Okay. Hope that is helpful. Taurus also rules patience. That should have been up with the other piece I was talking about because patience, dependability, trustworthiness, loyalty, these are all great Taurus traits. And steadfastness, right? Being able and willing to stay the course and not give up. And that doesn't mean pushing. That just means being able to hold space for something to happen, for manifestation to happen. And that's what we're all about with this new moon. Now, in the physical body, the Taurus in the body rules the throat and the neck and the thyroid gland and the vocal cords. I noticed one of the first things I was having issues with this morning was talking, probably because yesterday my allergies flared up. And so this morning I was feeling a little congested, feeling a little better now, but the voice and the vocal cords very sensitive now. And you're going to see when we talk about human design, which I think I'll get into more tomorrow. The planet Venus is now sitting at gate 12, which is right on the throat. And this is a caution, that gate of caution. It's a gate that is very in tune with super consciousness, but isn't supposed to speak it until it's invited to speak it. And pushing yourself to speak can tax those vocal cords. And remember, I was just talking about endurance and perseverance and all of that, and pushing the river and not to do that. That can eventually include thyroid burnout. So we want to be very careful about what we're doing in our physical world right now. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to share with you on that? No. Stubbornness. I don't know if I used that word, but stubbornness is another issue that we may want to be very aware of with Taurus. Oh, I'm laughing because people always tell me I'm stubborn. I say, no, I'm not. I just stick with things until I get what I want. I guess that could be a definition of stubborn. So, but I have my will center defined, so I can do this. Try not to get caught up in being stubborn and holding a space when everything around you, all the signs are telling you it's time to make changes. So the piece de resistance of the week, of course, is going to be when the planet Uranus makes its move into Taurus on the 15th, which is, oh my God, just tomorrow. And we've been anticipating this for a while, right? We've been informing about this for a while. All astrologers out there are talking about this. And I really hope it is a downer kind of, like it totally disappoints in its anything happening that day. I do. I hold out high hope that this is just a smooth move into the sign and not, indications of big splashy things. But I do welcome the change that Uranus brings. And the upset is usually because we're trying to hold back and keep things the same, right? Good morning, Angie. It's good to see you out there, Angie Witzel. Suzanne, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Suzanne Bronlin, as a cusp of Taurus, the loyalty and patience are being tested. Gotcha, sister. I know what you mean. And then we have Peggy Zhang, I think. Although I could not catch your words yet due to my poor listening English, I love your live video and joy from your accent. Thank you. Peggy, welcome. And Suzanne, welcome. And Angie, welcome. And Natasha just joined us as well. I'll read what Natasha says here in just a moment. But I do want to say, Peggy, that after I'm done in the morning, I load this up to YouTube, and I don't know if maybe that would make it easier for you to get it translated. Maybe, I don't know how that works, but I do make sure that this gets kind of all around in different modes so that people can work with it in different ways. So I hope you can get it translated for you. And let's see, Suzanne, cusp of Taurus. Okay, I just read that one. And Angie, a little late, but hey, we're glad to have you here. Natasha, that's right. Funny, yesterday my body had a huge headache and I checked in with it and found out my throat chakra area was clogged and not letting my energy flow through me. So everything was stopping up in my upper chakras. Thank you, body, for telling me. Cool. That's so cool to understand that. We've gotten so far away in some cases from listening to the wisdom in our bodies in favor of, in some people, it's the head. Your mind is telling you things. In other people's cases, it's the physical energy of perseverance and endurance that keeps pushing us and pushing us and pushing us, even beyond what seems logical or normal for us to do. So maybe just taking a breath and retuning into your body and seeing, what does it need? Is it needing more water? Is it needing rest? Is it needing a break? Is it needing to, get through some meditation and move some energy? Paying attention to your body, very, very important. Particularly because while we're dealing with the energy in Taurus, it's a physical sign, and it's very physical in the body, physical, grounded to the earth, and it is a very understated energy at times. I mean, you really don't realize how dug in Taurus is until you try to move one. right? Until you try to make it change. And that's why, planets like Uranus can come along and make big splashes early in their transits, because it has to shake us up. It has to shake us out of that stuck place in order to have us look at moving forward. It has to be more painful to stay than it is to move forward for Taurus to make its move. But that same persistence and endurance energy can be used in the positive to create what it is we want in the world. All right. So the day after Uranus moves into Taurus, wonderful Mars moves out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. So it'll be sitting at 0 to 1 degree of Aquarius, which means that it is squaring 90-degree angle, challenging to Uranus and Taurus. So we think we're done on the 15th when Uranus moves into Taurus, but then the 16th comes along and our catalyzing energy moves a little bit closer to creating some possible changes and some chaos. At the same time, however, the moon is also squaring Neptune. That may soften some energies up a bit, or at least help us see perhaps what the spiritual meanings behind things are. So if the world outwardly looks chaotic, there's another stream of energy running through us that is much more in alignment with spirit and the rightness of what's happening. So I like that, right? I kind of like that there is some stream happening that we can tap into to bring ourselves back to center if everything around us is, causing chaos. And later in the week, we have Mercury trining Saturn. Mercury, now in an earth sign, is going to be making trines to the other planets that are in the earth sign Capricorn. So we've got some really interesting earth movements going on throughout the week. And at the end of the week, Venus sextiling Uranus. We can't leave Venus out, right? Venus, the ruler of Taurus, the sign that Uranus has just moved into, now weighs in and creates some energy of her own. She's transiting through the sign of Gemini, and maybe bringing us some messages and things of peace, maybe potential of how we can use values and move ourselves forward in that way. All right. Human Design Week. I think I will wait until tomorrow. The Human Design Week does start tomorrow morning. Woohoo! With the sun moving from the gate 43 into the gate 8. Good morning, Tom. Oh my goodness, he's up early. He lives in Canada. Tom Wright. Good morning. I'm here up early to go up island and pay damage deposit. Here is a really interesting, Tom, I'm going to share your story. This is a really interesting story for Tom that I want to share with all of you because it's so perfectly in time with everything else that's going on in the planet. Tom found himself in a very difficult living situation and conflict with roommates who have big issues, and him finding it very intolerable to be in that situation anymore, but also finding himself in a little bit of a box, unable to really decide to make the changes of where he wanted to go. Money was an issue, where is an issue, and just the doors opening, so he could do this. But he stuck with it, right? He held there to his intention. He stayed in peace with this whole thing, and the perfect home opened up for him in the city he's wanted to live in forever. And he's going to be able to have a job in a metaphysical shop that he's wanted, with people surrounding him that are like-minded. It's like he stuck with his human design. He stuck with responding to what showed up in his outer world, and his world opened up. I love it, Tom. Good job. And good morning to you. I'm glad you could join us this morning, and I hope you have a wonderful day going up and looking at your new place, paying your damage deposit and all the money that you need to pay to move in. So thank you for being here. All right. So tomorrow we'll get into the human design. Let's do the oracle card because I thought it was really interesting. What I also found interesting was that I pulled it out of the deck, and unconsciously, I started to turn it upside down. And then I went, oh my gosh, I don't know. Is it supposed to be upside down? Is it supposed to be right side up? I don't know, because now I pulled it obviously out of the deck. It came out this way and I started, I don't know what I tried to do, turn it upside down, I guess. So I think we're going to read both today, just in case, right? I don't know for sure which way it fell out, but this is the card. It's a beautiful card. And it says, all that glitters. And you see a pile of gold and all this beautiful light coming up from the gold, but you also see those masks sitting there. That gave me pause. The card number is 16, which boils down to a 7. So let's take a look at what all that glitters means for us. I'm just going to read the whole thing for you guys, okay? So let me drink some water first. Okay, all that glitters, the essential meaning of the card, a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing, being mercurial. That's interesting, isn't it? Mercurial, based on Mercury. Mercury, we talked a lot about this morning. How funny. The oracle's message, right side up, is it's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing. Or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the masks people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the object or the person? Wow. So the relationship message says, sometimes we try to become something we're not to impress others. We embellish a story a bit, adding some dramatic elements to make us more appealing. The real person becomes hidden behind the sparkle and the shine. Then there are times when we don't see the true value of someone else because he or she may not have the glitz and glamour that seems so desirable. Now is the time to look past the surface, beyond the mask, to the essence of a person. Who that person is, not what he or she has or can give you, is important. See beyond the glitter and look for the inner glow. Use the eyes in your heart. Let go of artifice and let what is authentic chime. Or shine, not chime. All right. By the way, this is in the Wisdom of the Oracle deck from Colette Baron Reed. Love this deck. The prosperity message here now for all of us is sometimes an opportunity looks so good that it glitters like gold and you just can't resist it, especially when it appears others are doing so well and have hit the mother lode. During the American gold rush, everyone hurried west to find their fortune and then deserted entire towns after the mining depleted the gold veins in the earth. So too can you deplete yourself as you chase after the latest shiny thing that has caught your eye. There is a mercurial quality to your present circumstances. Pay no attention to those who chase after fool's gold. Resist the temptation to be jealous of others. What they have achieved may not be the true success you seek. So don't compare yourself to them. You see only the surface right now, only the sparkle. Be assured that you will experience your own shining moment if you stick to what you know. All that glitters may not be gold for you. Now, just in case, maybe it's that there are some people out there that need to hear the opposite message. So I'm going to read the protection message, and this would be as if the card had been upside down when I drew it. So the protection message is, this is a signal to walk away from what you're contemplating. There is a thin veneer of glitter and sparkle that masks something rotten underneath. Pursuing it will only bring about a difficult situation you will be sorry you got yourself into. Stay away. Isn't it wonderful how spirit protects you? Better things await. So that's a good way for us to look. By the way, when I drew the card this morning, the question was, what is the energy for the week for all of us? So It is something that all of us needed to hear. It's my own fault. I couldn't figure out if it was upside down or not, but maybe, like I said, somebody needed to hear the protection message as well as the right side up message. So let's see. Anybody got anything out here? Oh, geez, the opposite meaning applies to me too. Oh, Angie says, ooh, I love that. This applies to me right now. And then so does the opposite message. Oopsie. What can we say, right? Sometimes, we move off in a direction and even against our better judgment. And literally astrology itself points these things out to us, but it's human design that gives us the tool to make sure that we're making the right decisions for ourselves. And that is because every type has a strategy, and almost every type also has an authority. And those are the decision-making tools. And when you can get clear about what's the right decision-making tool for me, then these glittery things can't necessarily take you off in that direction. Or if you begin to move in that direction, you can wait, what is this the right way? Is this the right thing? So even you, Tom, this morning, by the way, Tom says, oh, shucks, this stuff works, man. It was a big job to wait till asked to speak. Ha ha. That was huge for Tom. That was huge, 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 huge. I think that's huge for a lot of people, not just Tom, and that is learning when to use your voice and when to be quiet. Another story for another day. But Tom, I wish you the best of luck out there today. I wish all of you the best of luck in whatever you are doing and whatever comes your way as we make these critical and tricky changes. I'm hopeful. I'm a little bit concerned about the world at large. I'm also just knowing that we are creating our reality. And what is it that we want to create? And that people power, when we come together and we create from a place of values, can overcome anything, right? All right. Much love to all of you. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning, and that'll be just post the new moon. So everybody go out there and get creating. In the meantime, much love. See you all later. Bye for now.